Hey everybody, my name is Tim Bryan. I like to make sports analytics videos. In general, my videos so far have been Python coding focused videos, but today I thought I'd try something different and kind of break down a academic paper from the Journal of Sports Analytics. I found out about this Journal of Sports Analytics recently. It's a fairly new journal. They'll take submissions from anyone. So if you have some sort of project you're working on and you want to submit it, that's a possibility. What caught my eye is the advisory board. You got people like Mark Cuban on here, all these, people from actual sports organizations rather than an academic paper journal where it's all like academics from universities. These are people that are actually in the field, um, you know, contributing to sports, day to day. So that's kind of why I found this interesting. So today's paper that we're going to be breaking down is titled "Predicting Plays in the National Football League." Um, I'll leave a link to it in the description, but it's free. It's not, there's no paywall or it doesn't require like any sort of subscription or anything. So if you wanted to look at the full PDF, you could. But let's break it down. These are the people that wrote the paper. It comes from the University of Toronto Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering, which is kind of interesting that they're working on sports analytics. But again, the title of the paper is Predicting Plays in the National Football League. So the abstract of a paper is kind of just the summary of the results and the question they're asking. It's like the thesis. So what they're trying to do here is give NFL players and coaches an easily interpretable model to predict the next play, whether it be a run or a pass. So this is for defensive personnel. What the research team on this paper does is they start by just finding the high watermark in terms of the best machine learning model they can come up with, interpretable or not, to determine maximum possible prediction accuracy. From that point, they get that highest accuracy level. They work backwards to create a simple, like, decision tree type model that you could easily memorize or write on a note card or something, that will help defensive personnel predict whether the next play will be a run or a pass. So the data set they're working with is play-by-play data. I believe it's from NFLSavant.com from the 2013-2014 season and from the 2016-2017 season. So this totals a little over 1,000 games and 130,000 or so rush slash pass plays. So the columns they used, from the play-by-play data are, the time, what year the game was. Um, Obviously, if they used the full NFL history, you would see at the beginning more running, and then as you go throughout history, a lot more passing. So that would affect the model accuracy. But they also do like time left in the game, yards to go for the first down, yard line in general, just where they're at on the field. Also, the offensive formation and whether there was a huddle or not. So that's the play-by-play data they use. They also use Madden player ratings, which I thought was interesting. I've got a little bit more on that later. But you can see here this table below. This is kind of the result of their machine learning um, model prediction. So these are the accuracies for the different kinds of machine learning. So they used a classification and regression tree model, a k nearest neighbors model, a random forest, and a neural network. And as you can see, the neural network has the highest accuracy. So that's kind of what they're using as their high watermark. If they can get their decision tree, easily interpretable decision tree, to be close to that 75% mark, I think they would consider this a success. So a little bit more on the Madden ratings here. I think their thought process here was like they wanted to, get an idea. The Madden player ratings are just, any rating system, you know, it may be looked down upon because it's a video game, but the Madden rating system is actually fairly good at assessing player skills. So theoretically, like, this helps the model learn if there's a team that has elite wide receivers facing a team with a weak secondary, they're more likely to pass in any given scenario. So that kind of will help fuel the machine learning model's prediction capabilities. And here we can just see the breakdown of plays, from the play-by-play data set that are um, passing plays based on the down, also based on the game scenario. So you can see if the team's losing, they're likely to pass 65% of the time. So that's kind of a powerful metric there. And then also a breakdown of the rating for different positions in Madden and like the distribution of those. So there's only a few 99, 95 to 99 players in all of Madden, offensively at least. This chart is different features of the data set and their prediction contribution to prediction accuracy. So you can see the offensive formation is by far the strongest predictor of whether or not it's run or pass play. And I think anyone that watches football would understand that somebody that lines up, a team that lines up with an empty backfield and 5 wide, they're almost always going to pass. So that's kind of an idea, gives you an idea of like the features contribution to the model accuracy. Other things like what down it is, how far they are, how much time is left in the game, the point differential. Those are all very important as well. So again, they started with getting the highest performing model they possibly could, which ended up being a neural network. And they converted that down to a simple decision tree model, trying to capture as much of that original top tier accuracy as possible. And I like this kind of paper because it's not super theoretical. Like a team could take this and run with it. I'm sure a lot of sports personnel in sports organizations are kind of weary of black box type models like a neural network. You can't actually see what's going on inside a neural network. So how could they trust it? So I like that this paper is applicable to an actual sports team like right away, and it's not super convoluted or anything. So again, there are two goals here: were capture maximum accuracy compared to that high watermark of the neural network model, and they wanted to make the decision tree as easy as possible to use for in-game usage. So what they settled on was 10 features, and the research team was able to create a decision tree that achieved 86% of that accuracy of the high watermark. So again, the high watermark is about 75%, so you can do the math there. And here's the result. This is the very simple, easy to digest decision tree for predicting whether a play will be a run or a pass. So we can see if it's first down. Let's just go through a sample scenario here. Let's say it's first down and the offensive team is ahead by 7 points, or I'm sorry, behind by 7 points. So the differential is greater than 0, and let's say it's like 2nd and 10. So if it's so that's less than 10.5, they're pretty likely to rush, even though they're down, and even though they're pretty far off from the first down marker. So again, this would be easily memorizable by, say, a middle linebacker or a defensive play caller to just get an idea of, based on the numbers, like what do we think this next play is going to be. And this is probably an easier to visualize way to visualize the decision tree model. So again, this is something that could be fitted on a note card or maybe on like a play sheet on a wrist cuffling, like something a middle linebacker would wear. But yeah, these are the distributions. Maybe next time you guys are watching football, you can take a look and see how accurate this model is. The strongest prediction scenario is, it looks like, first or second down with a point differential of over 0 and less than 10.5 yards to go is almost always a rush. So that's kind of interesting. And the prediction model is, it varies based on the team. It appears that when this paper was published, the Dallas Cowboys were the most predictable with over 80% prediction capability based on that decision tree model we just saw. And then there's other teams like the Buffalo Bills, which are a little bit over 60%, not much better than a coin flip. So, certain teams seem to be more predictable than others in terms of their play calling. So that's all I got. Hopefully this was an enjoyable video. If this is kind of content that you guys enjoy, let me know, and I can keep breaking down sports analytics papers. But I also have a Discord community where we talk about Python and other sports analytics projects. So I'll leave a description below for that if you guys want to join. But I appreciate you watching.